everyone. I have a really fun art project to share with you today. So we will be making a bird out of air-dry clay and some natural materials. For parents who have infants, what you can do is make this homemade edible paint recipe. Then after that, what your infant can do is paint with either leaves or feathers on a piece of paper. If you feel comfortable with them eating the edible dough, I will show you the recipe in just a moment. You feel free to do that, and they can participate in that way with this art project. All right, let's get started. So, for this bird, what you'll need is some air-dry clay. The air-dry clay is made of 1/4 cup of flour, 1/4 cup of cornstarch, 1/4 cup of water, and 1/4 cup of salt. First, what you'll do is you'll mix all your dry ingredients in a bowl and then slowly add the water to get the consistency that you desire. One thing for parents and caregivers is to allow your child to make this air-dry clay with you, and it's a great bonding activity and awesome for the kids to be able to use their hand-eye coordination and build the muscles in their hands with kneading the dough. So it's a lot of fun. All right, after that you also need to collect some natural materials from outside. I have these feathers that I found actually in my home, so if you have any feathers or if you want to go to a park where there's a pond, a lot of times you can find a lot of geese or duck feathers. I also have a lot of different leaves, and these leaves I thought were fun because they have little spots on them, which kind of remind me of the spots that you can find on a feather. But if you don't find any leaves that have spots or stripes, what you can do is paint on your leaves as well, and that will give them a little texture and then make them look also like feathers too. I have some berries that I'm going to be using for eyes, but you can use lots of different things for eyes, like buttons or pebbles or other things that you find outside or inside. And I have a few little rocks for the nose, but you can use a pine cone or other things for a nose. And I have some sticks for the legs. And these sticks can be long or short, however long you want your legs on your bird to be. It's a little bit windy right now, so I'm going to cover up my supplies for a moment to make sure they don't blow away. But if you take a look at my bird, you can see that this bird has a little mohawk here or crest, and then he's got his legs, his nose, his eyes, and then you can see his big bushy tail with the feathers and then the leaves that I've painted, okay? But does your bird need to look like my bird? No, it doesn't. You are different from me, right? So your bird is going to look different too, okay? So however your bird turns out is okay. And it's more about the process than the final product. Okay, I'm going to set my bird right over here. I'll say hello from here, and we're going to start. Okay, so first you're going to grab also a piece of cardboard. This cardboard is roughly 4 by 4 inches, but you can make it as big or as small as you want to fit your bird size. Okay, so I'm just going to get my air-dry clay, and I'm going to use my hands to roll it. It might not be already in a ball shape, but make sure it is kind of in a ball shape. And then I'm going to use my pinching fingers. Can you pinch with me like a crab? Pinch, pinch, pinch. Nice job. So I'm going to pinch off a little bit of my dough here, or my air-dry clay, and I'm going to roll this little piece into a ball. Do you know what I'm going to be using this ball for? Yes, the head. Do you see how this head on this bird is a little bit circular? So this bird will have somewhat of a circular head. All right, I'm going to set that to the side, and then I'm going to use my big piece of dough to roll into a bigger ball, and then I'll set him on my little platform here, and then I'm going to use my pinching fingers again and pinch out a little bit of a tail. And then what I'm going to do is put on my head. And you can put your head on wherever you want. I'm going to use my pinching fingers again to pinch. Ooh, it's very windy. Hopefully it doesn't rain. be fun. Making art in the rain could be fun. All right, so you see my head that I've got on here and my tail. And then I'm gonna start adding the supplies. So I'm gonna first do his face. What does a bird need on his face to see? That's right, his eyes. So I'm gonna add my little red berries on here for his eyes. What does a bird need to peck at worms or eat? Yes, that's right, he needs a little beak. So I'm gonna add a little beak onto my bird's face, and there he is. Hello. Next, I'm gonna add his little legs. And I have the sticks for the legs. Ooh, these are really long legs. I might want to cut him in half just so that he doesn't look like he's going to run away. Here we go. His little legs that you can see. And next, I'm going to add some feathers. Where do you think we should put these feathers? I think I'm going to try putting them on the tail again, because a lot of birds have really big, bushy tails. There we go. See his little tail. Next I'm going to add some feathers. He's going to wave hello, so I'm going to put one wing up like this, and then one to the side. Like that. There we go. Hello. And finally, I think I'm going to add a little crest on top to remind me of a cardinal. Kind of looks like a cardinal. So as you're building your bird, you can think about what types of birds you know of, and you can recreate that. So here's my little bird. And lastly, I'm going to paint it. So, as you can see here, I have a paint palette. And on my paint palette, I have white and then a bunch of different colors. Does anybody know what color, if you mix all the colors together, do you know what color it makes? I hear some of you saying it might make a rainbow, but it actually makes brown. So a lot of birds are brown. So if you want to make a brown bird, you can mix all your colors together. So for now, I'm actually going to mix some red and white together to make some pinkish color, and I'm going to add it to his face. There we go. Got a little bit of a pink face. Then I'm going to grab some yellow and do his chest. A lot of birds have yellow chests or white chests, which is fun. Then I really love this blue color, so I'm going to add some blue to his body. And remember, you can make your bird any color you would like. There's no wrong answer. Then I'm going to add green to his back. He's a pretty chubby bird, so he needs more paint. There we go. And there is your bird. What do you think, what sound do you think this bird would make? Yeah, maybe cheep, cheep, cheep. All right, I'm going to set him here. For parents who have toddlers, another good way you can modify this art project a little bit for them is to use a ball. Instead of adding the head on top, you can just have them add the materials right onto the clay itself, so they don't have to do the ball part. But it's still fun. Whichever way that they choose is okay. And then another way to add on to this project, if you have some leftover clay or want to make a nest for your bird, just for fun to add more dough, is to make a bird's nest. So what I did is I just cut out a piece of cardboard that's a circular shape and then put some dough on the very bottom of the cardboard, and then I found some dry grass that I collected from my yard, and then some leaves and sticks and twigs, and then just wrapped it in a circular motion. And then I also used my pinching fingers again and pinched off some clay and rolled it into 3 balls. So, and then I've ended up painting it. So you can see that this one has polka dots and is orange, and this one's blue, like a bluebird's egg or a robin's egg. So there's a lot of fun ways you can add on to this project. And one thing, if your bird can come off of your platform, he can sit right on top of the nest with the eggs inside, which is pretty fun. All right, my friends, thanks for joining me in this Creative Connection art project, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.